Hello and welcome to Investing in Ukraine. This week we'll be looking at the ambitious plans to overhaul Ukraine's airport network and asking whether the introduction of a 21st century air travel infrastructure will succeed in opening up this huge land to greater international investment. As Europe's largest country, Ukraine is seemingly well located to become an international air hub, but the country's size and location have not always been an advantage, as a brief glance at Ukrainian history demonstrates. Ukraine sits on one of the world's great border zones. It straddles the forest and steppe of the Black Sea hinterland and has traditionally served as the link between the compact little kingdoms of Europe and the vastnesses of Asia. This strategic location at what has always been a global crossroads has regularly been Ukraine's downfall, serving to seduce a long line of conquerors from Genghis Khan to Adolf Hitler and leading the country to suffer centuries of foreign domination. But if being the bridge between Europe and Asia has historically proved to be something of a millstone around the country's neck, it should now be one of independent Ukraine's biggest strategic assets. If Ukraine is to make the most of its geographical advantages, one of the biggest challenges it faces is modernising its airport infrastructure, much of which remains Soviet in spirit and unsuited to the rigours of 21st century air travel. Major projects have been initiated in the past few years which envisage a new state-of-the-art terminal in Kiev and ambitious overhauls at many of the country's regional airports. What could the imminent arrival of a modern air travel infrastructure mean for the investment climate in Ukraine, and will the current mood of airport optimism prove well-founded? This week we're joined by Jerry Parfit of KPMG and Oksana Radlazova of Invest in Kharkiv. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Oksana, in terms of developing the air infrastructure of the country, what geographical advantages do you think Ukraine has at the moment?
Okay, so you already mentioned when you said that Ukraine geographical location, it's really perfect because it's located just between Asia and Europe. So for air transport, it's really a good opportunity. And I think in terms of Euro 2012 and airports reconstruction, it will be a really good push up to making the transit flights. And if I say it in terms as an example of Kharkiv, where actually I'm from, Kharkiv, it's as well a very good location. It's located just near the Russia border. It's like 60 kilometers. So if we will have a direct flight like from China or from Asia, it will be, and afterwards there could be trucks. They could go to the Russia and everywhere, and I think it really would be a good opportunity.
So you see Kharkiv as serving as a regional hub to bring trade as well as passengers in from Asia.
Yeah, and I think from my point of view, it's even better for cargo airline, for cargo air flights.
Mm-hmm. Jerry, the plans at the moment are fairly ambitious in their scope for the development here in Ukraine. Is there going to be enough financing to cover all these projects?
It seems to me there's enough financing for the basic infrastructure, but people don't actually think about the additional add-ons with airports. Things like car parks, things like transport facilities. And we're seeing, you've got to segment it, we're actually seeing some airports are adequately funded by their oligarch groups, and I'm thinking of Kharkiv and Donetsk. Others, like Kiev, people are still fighting over ownership, and Lviv, I think there's a problem. So there's huge opportunities. People need to look at the airports as complete business parks. If you take Heathrow, you've actually got all the business parks around Heathrow. That opportunity exists in Ukraine, but it hasn't been opened up yet.
To use the airports as a focus for a larger business development?
Absolutely.
What, in terms of the type of investment that your interest that you're getting at the moment in Kharkiv, what sort of people are interested in the Kharkiv airport project, and what are their ambitions? What are their...
Actually, for the Kharkiv airport, we already do have a main investor, which is the owner of DCH Group. It's Alexander Yaroslavsky. So they jointly with the government, they are building the airport, and actually the new terminal, which is already built, and the official opening, I think it will be somewhere in August. And so we don't really need the investors for the airports. However, what I wanted to mention that actually in our company, jointly with Roots Development Group, it's a British company, and the idea actually was of the Kharkiv International Airport. We, in June this year, we will organize first Roots CIS conference. So they actually win a competition with some Russian airports like Sheremetyevo, Domodedovo, and due to the highly development of the Kharkiv airport, this event will held in Kharkiv. They will attract all airlines all over the world to come to see the opportunities for them. And they also attract about 260 airports from all these airports, so it will be in one place. They will come and meet, and they can sign a contract, so it will be a great push-up for the airports development, not only in Kharkiv, but all over the Ukraine. And another thing that we don't want to stop only on this, so we decided to, because the potential of this market is really, really big, so we decided to make our audience even more wide. So we organized as well an Aeroforum conference and exhibition for the contractors, for the international contractors who want to work with Ukrainian airports. So for them, it also will be an opportunity to meet each other. So I would say that this, like from our point of view, this is like the way how our airport will develop in new years.
So this is a new thing for Kharkiv or any of the Ukrainian regional airports, I'd assume, this level of forum.
Actually, this is a new thing not only for Kharkiv or for Ukraine. This is for all these countries, because Routes Development Group, it's organizing events for Europe. It will be this year in Toulouse, for the world, for all like avia business in the world. It will be in Vancouver in Canada, and firstly for these countries, and it will be in Kharkiv, in new terminals.
First, okay.
What Oksana hasn't said is it's a Mancunian company that organises it. So.
In terms of the investment in the Kiev, specifically the Kiev terminal that's going on, obviously there's very ambitious plans to develop the Kiev airport into an international hub. There's been investment obviously from Japan involved in this, and the hope seems to be that Kiev will become a stop-off on the Eurasian flight path and from the North Atlantic as well. Do you see that being enough to develop it?
I'm afraid this is where I'm not sure I entirely agree with Oksana in terms of the need for a hub. I think this is passé, frankly. I think in the days when Vienna really took off as a hub, there were no CIS facilities, there were no airports, there were no decent facilities, and therefore Vienna took off as a hub. I can't see the need for a hub here. You've got all the budget airlines that are going direct to places, and as the demand for passenger transport and cargo increases, you're going to have direct flights rather than the hub. So I'm not a great supporter of the hub concept.
So in other words, you think that they will simply bypass, they don't need
I think those that need to come to Kiev will come to Kiev, and I think they will use it for local flights. But to go beyond the borders of Ukraine, I'm not sure.
But as soon as like Kharkiv airport will be the most well equipped for all Eastern Europe and for Russia, but still I think it.
Yeah, that point I take because it's close to the border.
Yes.
You have to see Kharkiv. Kharkiv is actually ahead of the game. The terminal building is coming along nicely. The runway is being built. What you need is the infrastructure around it, but it's coming on amazingly well. And yes, it could be useful for going across the border, but I can't see it being a hub for a lot of flights further on.
For the intercontinental flights, for transcontinental.